it was the first one I ever did. And, you know, right afterwards, the host came by to explain everything, and he's like, all right, check it out, since it was a tie, you're gonna split, so you're each gonna get 10 minutes. And I was like, cool, okay, no problem, and he walked away. Then, like, the realization of what he just said hit me. I was like, oh shit, I only had the 5 minutes from last week, and that took me like weeks to develop. So what you're witnessing here is kind of the culmination of a really bad plan. I wanted to compete, but wasn't expecting this, so here we go. Anyone have any cats in here? Make some noise, please. No, when I married my wife, she brought 2 cats with her. And over 7 years, I've really grown to love their little quirky ways. You know, I love the little cats, or the little noises the cats make. When they purr, right? Just calming, relaxing. Or when they're stalking something and they see a bird, and they start chirping, and they're like, wee, wee. Or other times you'll just be asleep, and all of a sudden you'll just hear, great! Cats don't know about that. Another cool thing that cats do is, like, they'll come up and sleep on your pillow while you're asleep, but you don't really realize that till you wake up and you're greeted with a giant cat asshole in your face. And you're like, okay, it's really not a giant cat asshole, but from this close, you know, it's huge. It helped me break a bad habit. I used to have this habit of just rolling over and trying to make out with my wife. But like, after you toss your cat salad a few times, they start acting all weird, and then you just kind of break that habit. But I think out of the 2, the girl cat's the only one that really likes me. But sometimes I get the impression she likes me a little too much. Like if you have cats, you know, you pet them right and their butt goes up in the air. So she's sitting on my lap facing away, and I'm petting her, and it's cool. But then she like starts getting really into it. She's purring and rubbing her face in my legs. She's like, I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden she turns around and she's like, but she's purring still, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So I stop. You know, I stop petting her because I think it might be bringing her to orgasm. And I'm pretty sure that once you realize that, you kind of gotta quit. I mean, once you keep going, that's wrong. I mean, if you realize what you're doing, you shouldn't do that anymore. So, yeah, so I stop, you know, and she turns around and faces me, and she's like, and she just gently bites me on the hand, and I was like, shit, I think this cat's trying to seduce me. You know, again. And I was like, no way, cat, I got in a lot of trouble last time. Well, I've been married, like I said, about 7 years, and I'm just starting to notice the little subtle changes, you know, from when you're first married till now. Like when you first get married, it's, hey, see if we can sneak in a quickie before we get out of bed and go take a shower. But now it's like, see if I could rub one out quickly before she gets out of the shower. And like, I bought this new shower head for her, and I noticed she's been taking a few extra minutes, so I think she's hooking me up, knowing what I gotta do. I gotta take care of it. But like, there's other things too, like, you know, I used to come home and I'd smell something delicious, and I'm like, oh my God, is that dinner? What is that? She's like, yeah, we're gonna have a romantic dinner, some candles, wine, sweet. I come home now, I'm like, hey, let's eat. She's like, how the fuck should I know? You make the fucking dinner. I'm tired of it. I'm like, damn, okay. So, or how about this? When you're first together, right? It's like, oh my God, yeah, don't stop. And now it's like, oh my God, hurry the fuck up. I have to go to work tomorrow. So, it's getting rough, you know? But, I'm starting to know that I'm going to be that grumpy old guy that yells at kids on the street when I'm really old. But it's starting off small. Like now I'm just the dude that can't watch movies without calling bullshit on everything. Like the other day I was rewatching James Bond DVD, and I love James Bond. But I'm just at the point where I can't suspend my disbelief long enough anymore. I mean, the special effects look great. They make everything look real. But there's just no way I'm believing that some white dude in fancy dress shoes is keeping up with a Kenyan wearing any kind of shoes at all. And I just can't believe that. And like, he's wearing these fancy dress shoes, right? I've almost eaten shit in a shoe store trying on fancy dress shoes. And this dude could run across rooftops like it's a quarter-mile running track. I just don't get it. And James Bond is supposed to be a modern day, like he's not from the past or the future, right? He's just a present day guy. And like his movies usually span a few days. But again, I didn't see him checking Facebook once. And that's bullshit. Anyone who has a Facebook account doesn't go 3 days without checking or doing something. But I have a feeling that if James Bond were like, you know, real, if he had a Facebook account, he'd kind of be a dick. Like you'd post something you were proud of, and then he'd come in like Captain Thunderstealer and post something way more exciting, but he wouldn't do it on his own status. Like he'd wait for you to make a comment, and then sneak up on in there. So then the next 400 fucking comments are from your friends, but all about his cool thing. So I'd be like, hey guys, I got 10 minutes at 3rd Street, and I come out and get a beer. And I get an email. Vaughn, James Vaughn, commented on your status. It's like, what up, B? I just boned this chick in Montenegro, whoop, and I'm out. I'm like, yeah, great, dude. Just ruined my day. I don't know. If you go to my Facebook friends list, you'll notice I only have one black friend. And I was kind of misconceiving, and I really don't want you guys to judge me by that, because, like, he's really only half black. So, but, like, I have more black friends, and I would totally add them to my friends list, but I can't, because I can't ever find them, because they're always opening up accounts with other people's names. So, unless I know their mom or their kids' names, I just gotta wait for them to find me. So, I'm straight, I guess, because I'm married. And, like, I say I guess, like, how could you not know? But I think that every dude actually has a dollar amount for his anal virginity. And I just kind of realized that mine's $100,000. Like, all of you guys are like, oh, that's bullshit, I wouldn't do that. Or you say something like, oh, it's like $6 trillion. But now I know it's $100,000. The thing that scares me is last year I had a job and that price was $1 million. So like all it took was me losing my job and it dropped from $1 million to $100,000. So I'm like, I hope my situation doesn't get any worse because I'm gonna have to drop my requirements to like an awful and 20 bucks a free play at the Nugget or something. But I have been hit on by a guy before. I was in the military and I was stationed in England for a couple of years. And if you've ever been to Mildenhall, it's just like Arkansas but with accents. So they still have all the racism and the incest, but they just sound a little smarter when they talk about it. So I'm in this little tiny pub, and I'm having my drink, I'm listening to techno, because that's all they have. And this dude comes walking up to me. And well, he doesn't really come walking up to me, he comes dancing up to me. But like, if you ever seen black comics make fun of white people for dancing, and they do their little impersonation, well, that's still better than anything I could do. So I'm gonna try to act this out for you, but we'll just see how this works. So this dude comes, and you have to understand, it's dark, they've got the music and lasers and shit. Standing by my own business, this comes up. He's like, "Oi, you gay?" No. And he's like, "Are you absolutely sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure." I mean, it's been, 23 years, 24 years at the time. And he's like, "Oh, well, maybe you just haven't found the right thing to try it with." Are you shitting me? This is like the Jehovah's Witness of gay dudes. I mean, he's really working for that conversion. So finally the music dies down. I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I'm not gay. I don't want to fuck you." He's like, "Well, if that's the case, why are you in a gay pub, drinking a gay drink, listening to techno, and wearing assless chaps?" I'm like, "Fuck you, lemon drops are awesome." That's what I have for you tonight, folks. Thank you very much.